Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by. My day is always better with you in it. I'd like to welcome our new subscribers and thank those who are returning for this week's energy update for stopping by again today. We do have a lot to cover, so I better jump right in. Happy April to you. April is going to bring some changes. We are in eclipse season. We've got Venus and Mercury and the Sun are all going to change signs this month. We've got a full moon in Libra that's happening this week. We'll talk about that in a minute. And like I said, the first of two eclipses. We've got a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries later in the month. So let's talk about this week. Let's jump right in. Today, which is the 3rd of April, Mercury enters Taurus for an elongated stay. So Mercury in Taurus in itself is all about, grounded and stable communications or thoughts, very down to earth. Your common sense will certainly rule over just knee-jerk reactions on things. However, the 3D side of Mercury in Taurus can be very fixed attitudes, very stubborn, unwilling to hear somebody out, and just extremely rigid with your communication. So be mindful. If you see someone communicating in that manner, just understand that they are on the 3-dimensional timeline. Carry on with your 5-dimensional love and compassion, beauty, and just keep moving along. Now, it's a little bit of a longer stay. We're going to see Mercury in Taurus until June 11th, believe it or not. And the reason for that is it's Mercury retrograde season. Yes, this week also we're going to see Mercury enter shadow. Again, more about that in a minute. But it does enter shadow on the 7th. It remains in shadow until Mercury officially goes retrograde on the 21st of this month and will stay in retrograde motion until the 14th. Then enters or comes out of shadow, emerges fully out of shadow, back up to speed on May 31st. Also today, this is a little bit more challenging energy and you may be feeling it. I felt it a little bit yesterday and certainly have felt it a little bit today. But Pluto in Aquarius is going to square Mercury in Taurus. Again, both at 0 degrees, right? Pluto already entered Aquarius not that long ago. It's an outer planet, moves slow. Mercury moves a little quicker, even though it's slowing down for its retrograde cycle. But today, like I mentioned, it's entering Taurus. And when it does that, it's going to square Pluto. This can cause some very tense communications, or thoughts for that matter, because Mercury is all about thoughts and communication. Good day for research, though. If you are a person trying to find out the truth about something, today's your day to get after it. I really think that's a good use of this energy, actually. But if you experience frustration, be determined to transform your situation by choosing to understand the struggle of stability and grounding on a collective level, because again, we're dealing with Pluto and Aquarius, right? So it's all about the collective. And like I said, if you are finding yourself frustrated, by having an understanding of what the collective, the transformation of the collective on that level, it's going to help you through this process, that's for sure. At least a mental adjustment maybe is all you need to kind of work with this energy versus being frustrated with it. There can be, the other side of that is you can choose. You can absolutely choose. It is your choice to participate in the chaos and tumultuous, fluctuations that have to do with Taurus energy. So that's finance, values, belief systems. Or you can be powerless in the external and powerful with the internal. You decide. It's a square. You get to pick which way you're going to go with this. Frustration or just allowing it to set you free. Okay? Then on Wednesday, which is the 5th, I believe, Mercury in Taurus, again, Mercury's very busy this week, is going to sextile Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn in Pisces. Saturn's in Pisces, not Aquarius. Where'd that come from? Saturn in Pisces. So communications and thoughts, using your intuition or compassion, again, those Piscean themes, that if you use that to guide you, it's going to come in extremely handy. It's going to come pretty easy too. This is a sextile. You have to do something to get something, but by making a choice, that's doing something, right? So stay away from toxicity, Piscean energy and restrictions in Piscean, toxicity, codependency, be that drug codependency, alcohol codependency, relationship codependency, fear-based thinking, are all Saturn and Pisces themes, or Piscean themes, I should say. And because this is easy energy, again, a sextile, just use your intuition or your compassion to guide you. If you find yourself challenged in any way, again, it should be a very easy energy day. But follow your compassion, act with compassion, follow your intuition. I think that'll serve you well. Then we have our full moon in Libra. This is for the nerds out there, the 7 of 7 full moons at 16 degrees. So I'm excited that this is going to close out that whole series of full moons. This is on Thursday of this week. Full moons always bring culminations, right? And the new moon that was in Libra was on September 25th of last year. So this full moon could bring out a closeout of that energy or a relationship, because Libra is all about relations, relationships, equality, balance, justice. Those are all 5-dimensional themes. On a 3D level, it's indecisiveness. I mean, like swinging real hard one way and then swinging real hard the other way, just not able to make a decision, therefore leading to imbalance, right? At the time of this full moon, the sun is conjunct Chiron. They're only 1 degree apart. So this could be a very healing energy, a very good time for, a closeout of a relationship, or maybe a way in which you relate that allows you to heal, to move forward. Also, because there's a lot of Aries energy, it's a full moon. So we've got the moon in Libra, the sun is in Aries, along with several other planets still there. We are being asked to balance out aggression. I think that's really the big theme. And, or if you find somebody that has like a lot of self-centered energy, again, that's that 3-dimensional Aries energy. Just, choose to immerse yourself in love and in joy and peaceful energy if you are met with that aggression. Understand that that other person is having some challenges. Doesn't mean you have to subject yourself to it. Again, we're not talking about codependency here, but you can choose peace, truth, justice, health, and healing. Again, for yourself first, then for others. So self-care, this may be a good time for self-care. At the time of this full moon, Venus is also sextile Neptune. So I'd like to say it's very dreamy energy. If you meet somebody in and around the time of this full moon, just know you probably have some rose-colored glasses on. It's not going to be real grounded, and especially when it relates to, like I said, love or money. Just be aware that with Venus sextiling Neptune, it's going to feel really easy to be head over heels about something, when in fact you might need to tweak your rose-colored glasses or give it a couple of days and see how things play out. Just don't jump in full bore, both feet, because I'm not so sure that it'll work out the way you want it to. Now on Friday of this week, again, we got a very busy energy week this week. Mercury enters shadow at 6 degrees of Taurus, and it goes retrograde, like I said, on the 21st of this month, and then it comes out of retrograde on the 14th of May and stays there in shadow until the 31st. So we know the rules, right? Review, revise, reconfigure, redo. It's all about stepping back, not making decisive actions, but paying attention to things, because you're you're going to pivot as we move through this. So I printed this off. It's been a while since we talked about this stuff, but here's a Mercury retrograde chart for this retrograde season. So Mercury comes along and it's moving forward and it enters the shadow phase, which is going to happen this week on Friday. And it stays in that retrograde, or the retrograde shadow, until it goes retrograde. Again, that happens on the 21st of this month. Then it revisits the same degrees that it did while it was in shadow, but now it's retrograde. So you're going to think about things very differently during this phase than you did the first phase. Then it comes out of retrograde. And it stays in shadow and remains in shadow until the 31st of May, meaning you're going to have different hits relative to the themes of Mercury retrograde. We'll talk about that in a minute, 3 different times. Your thought processes, the manner in which you communicate, the way you take actions on things is going to change. So, no contracts. No major decisions relative to anything Mercury rules. Review your emails multiple times before you send it. Your text messages, just watch them closely, because Mercury does rule these areas. And when it's retrograde, things can get a little wonky. Now, as I sat with this energy today, I'm not, I wouldn't say overly concerned. That's not a fair statement, because, obviously I'm concerned about a lot of things, but it doesn't seem to me to be an overly tense Mercury retrograde cycle. And I'm a gem rising, so I really feel mercurial energy quite strong. But I just don't see that. There's a lot of sextiles with Mars, Saturn, and Venus during this retrograde phase. And because Taurus rules stability, though, themes about this retrograde cycle will, I think it's going to ask us to define how we view our stability. How do we get our stability? Do you attach stability and when you feel stable to tangible objects, big house, fast car, things, tangible objects, or are they within yourself? The peace, compassion, love. You get to decide. And there's a big difference between the two, whether it's an external thing or an internal thing. But we'll get to closely examine how we determine, or how we define our stability. We're going to be able to clearly answer that question by the time we get to the 31st of May. So the next 6 weeks will be very helpful for us in that regard. Then on Saturday of this week, Mercury is going to make its first take its first action while it's in shadow, and it's going to sextile Mars in Cancer. We're going to see this again on the 24th of April. So be mindful, again, observe. I love Mercury retrograde season because it helps me zero on the themes of that Mercury retrograde season, but I can actually watch the change as it occurs in my thought process, or the manner in which I communicate. So just be mindful, observe, and just watch how this day unfolds, and be prepared to revisit that energy again with a shift in how you feel about it, or how you want to express yourself about it. 3D can find yourself, because this is Mercury sextile Mars in Cancer. It's really being emotionally driven to communicate, but because it's a sextile, it's pretty easy energy. However, if you immerse yourself in 3-dimensional energy, or if someone starts communicating to you and they're just over the top emotional or very, very sensitive about something, just recognize, and they feel like there's no recourse whatsoever, just recognize that's a 3-dimensional understanding of this energy. Otherwise, you may be able to very well articulate yourself very well as how your emotions drive you to do things, or how you find stability within your emotions. Okay, that's all the retrograde that the Mercury retrograde things that popped in my mind earlier today. So this week, like I said, it kicks off our next Mercury retrograde cycle. All of the Mercury retrograde cycles this year will be in Earth signs. I really do believe our stability, how we define stability, how we define our Yeah, our tried and true reasons for doing things, they're up for grabs. We're going to be assessing and taking a closer look at that, that's for sure. The nodal axis itself has been in Taurus, North Node Taurus, South Node of Scorpio, which is all about, shared assets, your own, how you define yourself within your shared assets with a partner. So it's about self-worth. That nodal axis is about to shift. It's going to shift in July. So I think that this portion of the Mercury retrograde cycle it's appropriate now for the universe to ratchet up our focus on how we define stability. Is it from the inside out or is it from the outside in? That's what you get to decide. So today's card was from the Chrysan deck, the Light Seers Tarot. Love this deck. The illustrations are so pretty. Anyway, I had a major arcana jump out at me today, and I'm super excited about this because it is a big week. We've got a full moon. It's not the solar eclipse in a couple of weeks, but we are in eclipse season. So the card for today is the Hierophant, and it is number 5, which number 5 is all about change. I love this deck. Let's see what the book has to say. As you search for your divine truth, you create frameworks of belief that help you to expand your consciousness and ground your faith into this reality. If you've been stuck in old tradition or a structured way of acting or being that is no longer serving you, it is time to let it fall away in order to make space for a better version of you. The Hierophant serves as a gateway between divine source and the seeker, so be open to new paradigms, perspectives, and teachers in your life. Look to the patterns around you and strive to understand your own internal compass. Know that while there is wisdom in the teachings of the mystics, the voice of your own heart is the one voice that matters the most. Find the wisdom of the heavens within. And then the mantra that goes along with this card. I am my own guru, and the guidance I need is rooted in my faith, my belief, and my unique essence. Boy, I sure do love that card. And number 5 indicates change. And I think we are all going to be feeling some change this eclipse season, as well as how we define stability. What does that mean to you? How do you define it? Well, thank you so much for joining me today. That's all I have for you. If you like this video, please do click the like button. If you know somebody that can be helped by this video, please do share it with them. And if you have any comments whatsoever, please post them in the comments section below, and I will get back with you ASAP. And if you want to know when videos are being dropped, click the subscribe button. I was not able to drop it yesterday. I was traveling and got home much too late, and I do not like to produce videos when my energy is at a low. So I got a good night's rest and got started today. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you have a fabulous week. Namaste.